and welcome to this chat today. We're going to be talking about wealth consciousness, how money wounds are created, and how to shift into millionaire mindset. And so if you're watching this on YouTube, remember to like and subscribe if you want to see more workshops and lives like this. And remember to check the description box down here below for ways that we can work together. And I'm doing a TikTok live right now, so the people that I'm speaking to are in the comments, all of my lovely community here. So I appreciate y'all for being here as well. Okay, so before we get started into our chat, I want to make a super awesome announcement that I just launched Boss Babes Inspire. It's my group mastermind coaching program. And so what that looks like is it is for energy healers and coaches who want to be forefront leaders in consciousness expansion. So this is you really wanting to step up in your life and your business so that you can have a greater reach and that you can feel more confident in selling your services, creating client attracting content, building your programs, but not only the external things, the intrinsic things, like finding feminine and masculine balance in your business, really just being around other spiritual entrepreneurs, because it's very overwhelming. Like when I first started on my spiritual business journey, I was like, this is a lot of steps, and I feel very isolated because I don't have anybody to ask questions to. And so I wish that I would have had a group like this, right? And so I'm in the middle of one of the groups right now, and it's been going great. We're having so much fun together and growing and evolving. And so if that sounds like something that you'd be interested in, we're going to start in June, and we're going to meet every single week, and it's going to run for 4 months. And so it's a smaller container. I'm taking 15 boss babes into the space, and there's 13 spaces available. This is for female identifying and non-binary individuals who are spiritual business owners. So if you want more information, the people who are here live, you can go to my profile and click and fill out the application form. Or if you're watching on YouTube, that's gonna be down here in the description below, okay? So my intention for this chat here is to help everybody feel more confident in your money mindset and your wealth mindset, to help you shift your abundance template, and for you to open up your container to receive more prosperity and abundance. So that is what I cultivated this workshop around, okay? And so these are some of the things that we'll be talking about in Boss Babes Inspire. So we're also gonna be talking about how I made 2 quantum jumps in the last 2 days. And I wanna share that because, hold on one second, it's gonna help y'all too. Maybe help do a reframe on a couple things. So, excuse me, I'm gonna be drinking a lot of water, so I might have to take a potty break here in a minute. But anyway, okay, so quantum jumping is when you align with your more preferable reality and you embody it here in the now, and that helps you shift. So you have to let go of some behavioral patterns and past narratives and things that are no longer serving you in order to make that shift. It's like a consciousness expansion, and that's how you jump into a new reality. So that's why I wanted to share my own personal experience so you could have like a more tangible example, right? Okay, so I was leading a chat like this in Boss Babes Inspire the other day, and I was writing all my notes down. And one of the things that I put on there is that sometimes thinking about finances really scares us. Who in here, when they think about finances, gets nervous? And they're like, nobody taught me how to do investments. Nobody taught me how like bank accruement works. Nobody taught me how to do a Roth IRA or how to save for retirement. Like, put your hand up if that's you. And that's totally fine, because me too. Okay? I was not taught those things. And it was very overwhelming because I'm like, I'm not an expert, and I don't have maybe the time and energy to become an expert because I got other things that I have going on over here. Okay? What's retirement? Okay? What's retirement? Facts though. I get that. Not just from a financial standpoint, but like always wanting to be doing stuff. Boss babe energy. Finances give me anxiety. Yeah, it gives a lot of us anxiety. Sometimes that's because of a lack of education. Not on your part, because a lot of us weren't taught in school these things. Like, it's not a priority. And that's part of the old 3D paradigm stuff that we're stepping away from. Oh, thank y'all for the follow. I appreciate it. Okay, so that was me. And I said, you know what? I really want to understand Roth IRAs. I don't know if anybody's heard of those before. It's like a retirement investment account. You put money into it every year, and you can invest it in different like stocks and bonds, and then you can get its tax-free earnings And so when you turn 56, you can take it all out. Okay, but you have to wait. So it's like a accruement thing. Okay, so before I held the Boss Babe session about the finances, I said, I'm going to go on YouTube and I'm going to watch a Roth IRA video, right? To help me feel more safe and secure in my knowledge. So I watched the video and the person said, if you make more than $156,000 in a year, you cannot have a Roth IRA. Me in the past, younger sage, would have been like, okay, that's great. Because this is like a great retirement fund that I can invest into. And then I can have like a huge sum of money when I turn 56 or however old I am when I pull it out, right? This time, I was like, oh, that's not gonna work. I said, I'm gonna be making more than $156,000 a year here coming up soon. So I'm gonna have to find something else to invest in. That was a quantum jump that I made because I have been working on my money wounds and my subconscious mindset reprogramming and healing trauma in my body, like around money, that I was in a completely different reality where not only I knew that I was capable of making that amount of money, like that's going to happen for me. Like there's no doubt in my mind, right? So that Roth IRA doesn't apply to my experience. That is a quantum jump in consciousness, right? Because if you had asked me like 5 years ago, I would be like, ain't no way. There is no way. Like I would never be able to conceive that that's going to be me. Okay. So that's why I wanted to share that example of what a quantum jump is. You got to actively work on putting a foothold in the reality that you want to be in, right? Is it going to happen overnight? Sometimes you can make like giant shifts. I've done that before, right? And then other times you got a lot of layers you got to heal. Okay. So for me, it took a lot of layers to be able to, that be my first thought. There was no other thought. It was like, oh, that's not gonna work for me. But a couple years ago, it would have been like, oh, well, what about this? And what about this? And this and this and this and this, right? Consciousness shift. Not gonna work. That's amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Now we're gonna talk about past narratives. I made this quantum jump yesterday. So I was in my car and I was on like a 2-hour drive to go see my friend. And I was listening to a podcast about quantum jumping. And it activated something within me because the person was talking about being the higher self to their inner children. Y'all know things I talk about all the time. And I was like, okay, I have seen in my future reality that I'm a millionaire. Like that's not like, I'm not even worried about it. Okay. And I'm not saying fears and doubts won't come up along the way. Good morning. Hey, Christian. I'm not saying they won't come up along the way because we're all human and we have an ego and like, it's fine. Right? But there's something like deep internally that has been driving me like the whole time. So I was like, okay, I know I'm going to be a millionaire and time is not real, right? Time is like an illusion, human construct. Everything is happening all at once, especially if like you have a deep understanding of like esotericism, metaphysicalism. Okay. And I was like, okay, so technically I'm a millionaire right now. It just has not materialized outside of me in that amount yet. That doesn't mean that I'm not though. Okay. Is everybody trucking? And so it's like, okay, I'm embodying millionaire status right now. And I was like, you know what? As a small child, like very small child, like 4, 5, 6 years old, I always knew that I was going to be a millionaire. And even if I didn't have that in my external experience, I knew. So I was like, okay, well, I was a millionaire back then too. Like I was born a millionaire. I was like, because I had like a greater perception of my soul contract and where I was headed. So as a coach and a content creator in my business, there are a lot of times that I will talk about how much lack I grew up in. Like I was poor. And I know I'm doing it right now, but I need to do it for this example, okay? So I like didn't have heating and air until I was like 8 or 9. Like we were just really struggling at times. Okay. I also was told like money is the root of all evil. You have to wait till you get to heaven to experience riches. Rich people are evil. You know, just all this like nasty programming stuff that's not real. Okay. Money doesn't grow on trees. Has anybody heard any of those or feel free to share them in the comments if you have any like programming that you were given. And so the people I was around too were also like a lot of lack mentality. So that's just all I saw. But I still held that millionaire within me. And so like I would hustle and grind since I was a child, doing like selling baked goods, cleaning people's houses. I worked a 40-hour job while I was in high school. Like I was just so enveloped with money being my safety and security. And we're going to talk about that later to touch back on. Okay. Yes, my mom said money changes people. Yep. And it could change people to be even thriving better. But the lens that people usually look through with money changes people is like you're going to end up being evil or, you know, using it for bad things. Or thinking that you're better than people, which is just not true. Okay, and we're going to get into that more. So I was like, my inner children are hearing me make content and talk about them being broke and poor all the time. Even though that's not me right now, and I'm utilizing that as a growth comparison chart for people that I work with, like clients, and I'm like, hey, this is where I was at, and this is where I've gotten to now. I am speaking lack mentality over my inner children and keeping them in those past narratives. I was like, if my inner children were outside of me, okay, and I was like, wow, y'all were really broke and you were really poor. That sucks for y'all. I was like, I have been keeping myself in a lack paradigm because of my inner children and speaking that over them. Okay, I want to show you all this picture. This is me when I was little. Okay, I keep this picture of myself on my bathroom mirror at all times so that I can speak love to her and my inner children. But this was like a pivotal point in my life. We love her. And I was like, I do not want to speak that over them. They were born millionaires, and who's to say that they can't have that experience too? I was like, I have been keeping myself from expanding my own container as much as I possibly could because I'm jumping back in those past narratives. And it's one thing to talk about your past narratives and like keep yourself in there. What I've been doing is utilizing those examples to like help people with, right, as a comparison chart. That's not serving who I am anymore, and that's not serving my inner children. And so after I told them like, hey, we're not going to do that anymore. Like, I want y'all to feel like blessed, so prosperous and abundant, and you have always been, because that's always something we've carried, and I will not speak that past narrative over you anymore. And after I said that, I felt a huge amount of trauma energy come out of my body, like while I'm driving. And they had like a huge sigh of relief when I created that space for them, that they didn't have to live that story anymore. And I'm not saying that we need to bypass what happened to us, because that stuff is real. Like, those experiences are real. But sometimes we're keeping them alive by continuing that story and that experience. And it's really funny because I was driving to the same place about 2 years ago, and I was listening to this lady give a TED talk. And she was like, if you want to open up and expand your container, you cannot talk about things from the past. And I didn't realize what she meant at the time, because again, I kept on like healing my money wounds and my lack mentality. And I was like, okay, well, I've healed a lot of those things. Now I can utilize it to help other people. But then I reached this precipice point where I've healed so much that talking about those things is pulling me back. Did that resonate with anybody? Let me know in the comments if you have been feeling that way as well. And again, like, sometimes we need to go back to the past to help them heal, but then you reach a stage where like you've healed. Like, we can always heal for things, but some things don't need to be picked at. Okay, some things need to be like, let's move forward. Okay, all right, yes, okay, resonating. Oh, good, somebody's mind was blown. I was like, I don't want my poor inner children, I don't want them to hear me talking about how broke and poor they were anymore. Like, that's not a fun existence, especially from, you know, somebody that's supposed to be their higher self. Like, I don't need to be saying those things to them. And I realized on that car ride too, that my inner children that were like, oh, we're going to be millionaires, or we are, you know, me as the higher self right now in this present moment, like this age, was the one that was talking to them in childhood and being like, girl, it's fine. Okay, like, just wait, we gonna be thriving on like a whole nother level. So like, I was coming back in time and space to keep them pushing forward, right? And so when you excuse me, when you assume that higher self role, you are doing that type of like quantum healing. You are going back in your Akashic records and healing them to take them out of those energetic timestamps, if you will. Okay, so we're going to talk about money now and how money wounds are created. So I want everybody to take pause if you can and close your eyes, not if you're driving, obviously, but close your eyes. And we're going to take like 30 seconds. And I want you to feel in your body what comes up when you think about money. Maybe it's an image. Maybe it's an emotion, maybe it's a belief. And we'll all take a big breath in and breathe out. Okay. So, excuse me. So a lot of people, when they think about money, it brings up negative feelings. Like lack, stress, anxiety, unworthiness, shame, guilt, anger, frustration, right? And so this is how money wounds are actually created. One, it comes from like the programming that we receive from parents, teachers, and guardians, right? That are reiterating that into our subconscious mind. I'm sorry, y'all, my throat. Anytime I'm talking about something intensely, my throat chakra. I like money. Love that. Good. Okay. So when you bring up negative emotions in your body with money, what happens is it kicks on your central nervous system. And our central nervous system is where trauma is held. Well, some trauma, where a lot of trauma is held within. Trauma doesn't just go away, right? You have to actively do like subconscious mindset reprogramming, use psychology methods, energy healing, like doing Akasha healing with your inner children and teens and young adults. Like, it doesn't go away until you actually process it. And so the way that PTSD works is you get emotions and memories tied up together, and then it integrates into your body and your system on an energetic frequency level and on a physical level, right? So when you have these negative thoughts about money in your subconscious, it's bringing up old memories that you have with money. So if it was weaponized against you, just any negativity, even though it's not coming up in like the forefront of your consciousness, is deep back in there. And then your body has a physical reaction to it. And so that's where the stress is coming from. Central nervous system gets kicked on. Now we're in fight or flight. Has anybody experienced that kind of like panicky feeling when you think about money? Right? Now the fight or flight is putting us into stress. Now there is cortisol, stress hormones, running through our body. So your physical body has equated money equals danger. Money equals stress. Now we are manifesting through a negative lens. So you consciously are aware that money will bring you like all these fun, magical, whimsical experiences, right? Like if you have $1 million in your bank account, life would be a lot easier, right? Or maybe, right? Depending on who you are and what you're doing with it. Okay. So we know life would be a lot easier. Your body is telling you different. Your body, because of the trauma and the memories and the emotions that you have stored in there, is saying danger, 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 danger. We do not want that. So you're actually pushing money out of your field. And then, because you are having a hard time bringing money in, it reiterates that cycle. Now you're proving to yourself that money is dangerous. And so that's where the behavioral cycle and the money wounds. And that's how we get stuck. So when we're talking about manifesting money, I feel like not everybody always shares all the pieces to it. And that's why we have a hard time figuring out how to heal these things. Because you have to heal not only on like a energetic level with the trauma, but you also have to heal your physical body and you have to heal your subconscious. Like 3 very different things. And you have to do them all together in order to make forward movement. So we're going to talk about all those things more in depth here. Okay, so putting energy and intention into something. Anytime you put energy and intention into something, like a lot of it is going to give birth as a consciousness form. So us as human beings have decided that money is going to be that consciousness form. It's going to be an energy exchange. Okay, it doesn't matter if it's money or toilet paper or seashells. Like, we all have to do some type of exchange with one another. Like when we had a bartering system where we were, you know, like bartering foxtails or like whatever we were bartering, like food and silk and things, you can insert money now. There's always got to be an exchange. Like time is an exchange. Hey B, like if I go help my friend move, right? Excuse me. And they're giving me like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I love you so much. You're so awesome. Like words and like love can also be an exchange, but you have to have something there, right? Good morning. Good morning. And sometimes people will say like, oh, well, I wish we didn't have to have money and we could just go back to a bartering system. And I'm like, that's the same thing, honestly. Like, it's the exact same thing. Because if you take seashells, you still have to take time and energy to find those seashells and then clean them and then get them to somebody. So we demonize money because of programming and people who have weaponized it and all this icky, yucky stuff. There is no good or bad with money. It's just an energy. It's something we have collectively decided to exchange. Okay? So I want you to think of money like a human being. Okay? Money is your best friend, like your bestie. Okay? I want you to envision that you're going to take your bestie to lunch. Like y'all are going to go to Panera or wherever you want to eat and you're going to go sit down together and have a grand old time. Now I want you to think about all of the self-limiting beliefs and the anxiety and the fear that you have about your bestie. Is that a good relationship that you have with them? Because sometimes we're speaking so negatively over it because of our money wounds that money didn't have it. The money consciousness had nothing to do with. That was our programming and trauma and other people's projections and trauma and stuff. But money itself, that consciousness form, doesn't have anything to do with that. Your bestie did not create those things. It was the people that created those things that were around you. Okay? So if you're constantly telling money, you stress me out, I'm afraid of you, money is not going to want to be around you. Just like a person. They're going to feel like, well, you don't love and appreciate me, so I'm going to go hang out with somebody else. Does that example make sense? That really helped my consciousness shift, because when I start having self-limiting beliefs or anything come up around money, I'm like, how would I want my relationship to be with my bestie? Because you can have so much fun with money. You can go on fun trips, you can buy groceries, you can get the things you want, like a whole new wardrobe, so you like feel confident and self-assured. Like money can be such an amazing, incredible time, especially with like investing in your bills. Like sometimes opening like our internet bill or insurance, we get so like stressed and anxious about that. But like, isn't that wonderful that you're able to invest in those things? Like if I didn't have internet, I wouldn't be talking to everybody right now. So like, how thankful am I that my bestie is creating these experiences around me so that I can enjoy those things, right? So sometimes we gotta have these like perspective shifts around these things that we're investing into, right? Hey Brandon, hey. And so I'm going to share a story about my internet bill in a little while too, and how I had a shift there. But next time that we're stressed and anxious about money, I want you to really think of that person like a human being that you're trying to cultivate my incense. Hold on one second. I just dropped my incense on the floor. That you're trying to cultivate a relationship with. Because we all know if you have a relationship with somebody that you really enjoy and they really enjoy you, the more time and energy that you're spending with them and love that you're pouring into that relationship, the stronger it's going to get. But if you are having really not bad, but negative thoughts about them and projecting onto them and saying it's your fault because of this, that, and that, right? When it really isn't, it's other people's trauma and projections that you just picked up along your journey. That friend is gonna not want to spend time with you, if that makes sense. Okay. So, safety and security and abandonment wounds. So, I know we talked earlier about not bringing stuff up from childhood as much, but I need to show y'all this as an example. Okay. So, when I was younger, I had a lot of abandonment and trust wounds from my childhood because my biological mother was like in and out of my childhood, and I lived with my grandparents, and there was like a whole bunch of trauma stuff and all that stuff, right? So I learned from an early age that I can't trust people. I can only trust myself, which created a lot of hyper independence wounds. And I decided that money was going to be my safety and security. And so from a young age, I was like hustling and grinding for money constantly up until like these last couple years. Like that was such my goal because can't trust people, but I can trust how much I make, which was pushing it away from me because I was pedestalizing money, right? And you cannot find safety and security in anything, period. It cannot be from people and it cannot be from money. You have to find safety and security within yourself. Otherwise, you're pedestalizing it, whatever that is, and people come and go. Money comes and goes. And so if you're wrapping your safety and security in money, and then it doesn't come in the way that you want it to, or it doesn't come in how you want it to, or it doesn't show up right away, you take a huge hit to your abandonment and trust wounds. And so that's what would happen to me. And then I would see money as abandoning me. When it came in, I would pedestalize it and be like, oh, okay, now I'm safe and secure because blah, 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 blah. And then it would exit, and now we're right back at abandonment and trust wounds being poked at. So along my journey, I had to realize, I have to place safety and security within myself. It doesn't matter what stage of life I am in, I'm gonna be all right. Okay? And I have always been. Every single time I have been going through a dark night of the soul or a tower moment or, whatever life brings me, in the moment, it's a lot of stress and anxiety because we want to keep ourselves safe. And so we have to like think of the worst case scenario and like, all this stuff. But then on the other side, I look back and I was like, yeah, I was fine. Like I always figure it out because that is who I am deep down in my core. Like I can always trust myself. And I'm not saying that we should not trust other people and not trust money, our friend or bestie, right? But you have to find that level of safety and security in yourself first in order to not pedestalize and push those things away from you, right? Does that resonate with anybody? Like needing to feel safe and secure. A lot of us haven't felt safe and secure within self because of things that have happened to us in life. Like I said, with relationships, money, like there's a whole assortment of things, right? But once I learned how to regulate my central nervous system, especially with my emotions, and feel safe and confident and self-assured that I'm gonna be all right no matter what happens to me, that really helped me make huge shifts in my life. Because it's like, it doesn't matter what comes my way, I'll be fine. Like, I can always pivot. I have cultivated a whole life around me of pivots. Like, I'll be pivoting every single day. And sometimes we're worried about making the right and wrong decisions. Okay, good, I'm glad it's resonating. Sometimes we're worried about making the right and wrong decisions in life. It doesn't matter. There are no right and wrong decisions either. It's just like all experience. And if you can get to a place where you feel safe and secure within, you can pivot. Like, sometimes the decisions I've made have not been the most optimal because I didn't listen to my intuition, and I was coming from lack mentality and those abandonment and trust wounds, but I've always pivoted, and I always will. And for y'all too. Okay, and when I took that pressure off of myself and I was just like, we're just gonna ride the waves of life, okay, it really helped me feel so safe and secure, because I got me at the end of the day. I got my inner children, and my higher self has me. And we're just gonna trek through life like that, okay? All right, so utilizing money as a weapon. There have been, that's where I'm at currently, scared to make a wrong decision. Realize there's no right or wrong decisions. That you are a strong boss babe out here, and you will figure it out, no matter what you decide to do. When you do that, the window of opportunities like blasts open for you, because now we're not trying to constrict and control because of our abandonment and trust wounds. Hey, hello. So a lot of us have seen money weaponized for very evil things in the collective, and that it's hurt a lot of people. So that makes us want to stay away from it, because we're like, oh, well, if I have a lot of money, I know this is not for everybody. This is like a deep-rooted fear for a lot of people, okay? That if we have a lot of money, it's going to change us as a person, and then we'll end up like them. Why do you think that's true? Like, for those people I'm speaking to right now, like, you are a beautiful being of light. Don't you think that you having money would just amplify that? Those people who weaponize money like that and use it for evil purposes, they are not you. They are not doing the self-awareness work. They are not working on like a collective consciousness level. They do not, or they're not coming from like soul aligned places, but you are. So you need to take that out of your fear, like that fear paradigm needs to come out of your subconscious, because why would that change you being an amazing, beautiful soul? It would just amplify that. Money is an amplifier. It will amplify you being an evil person. Okay, if that's what you want to do with it, and be greedy and not help the collective consciousnness, or it will help you do all the things that you want to do, right? Like, I had this fear that if I, oh, thank you all for saying that about my hair, I appreciate it. If I had all the money that I wanted to, I had a fear that I wouldn't be doing the things that I would be doing now. I'd be like, oh, well, you know, my higher self was like, why do you think that? Like, you would just be helping people at an even grander and greater capacity. Maybe it doesn't look exactly like what you're doing right this second. Maybe you're building schools. Maybe you are starting nonprofits. Maybe you are going out and just handing people $100 bills all day long. Like, why would that shift who you are as a soul level? You would just be doing it in a different capacity. And I'll be honest with you, if you have $1 million in the bank and you never gave anyone money, fine. But because you are a light worker and you are here to help with the collective consciousness shift, you going on trips to Thailand and Japan and wherever you want to go and having this nice house and driving that nice car is going to make you shine even brighter, and every single person you come in contact with is going to benefit from being in your energy field, because you are a beautiful being of light. And how much easier would life be if you had an open receiving container and you are so prosperous and abundant and money stress is not even on your mind? You would be spending your time and energy just doing all the things that you love, and then that naturally exudes to all the people around you. I don't think that people realize like how enveloping their energy fields are, and that without you even having to speak to someone, you are helping them transmute their own energy fields. That's what we are doing as light workers. That's why when you walk into rooms, hey Carrie, when you walk into rooms, people whip their head around because it's like, oh my gosh, look at this being of light walking in here. And I know that a lot of people, me included, when I was younger, think that people were looking at me negatively, right? Because that was my own confidence and self-esteem stuff. What they're actually doing is being like, this frequency in the room just shifted drastically. What is going on? Sometimes it triggers things within them. Like, you are a mirror, you are a reflector. You transmute people's shadows for them, just being in the room. And so when you start to realize how powerful your energy field is, you being prosperous and abundant and just living your life from that state of being is helping the collective, whatever you decide to do with that money, because you're going to be doing great things with it, having fun and enjoying life. Okay? And then everybody you meet is going to have an experience with a prosperous and abundant being who is confident and self-assured. Now they go out having a different life experience, and everybody they talk to is going to have a different experience, and we do make shifts in the collective like that. Now, if you decide to utilize your money and like do all those things that I talked about before, start schools, buy ice cream for all the kids, like a baseball game, you know, whatever you want to do, like, it's just going to amplify you being a lovely being of light. Okay. So a lot of us have this, like, have this real shame and guilt around being prosperous and abundant, while other people around us are in lack mentality and are struggling. And I totally get that, because we're empaths and we don't want to see anybody suffer, right? But then, but then what we end up doing is keeping ourselves there too. So I like to use this analogy. So let's say that we have a pit, okay? There's a whole bunch of people in this pit, and they have deep money wounds, lack mentality. They're really struggling in life. You're up here on this platform, and you are abundant and prosperous, okay? Is it going to be more beneficial for you to get down in that pit with those people, or stay up here being very prosperous and abundant, reaching your hand down and pulling them up to where you're at right now? Which one of those is going to be more beneficial for you, them, and the collective? You cannot help somebody if you are struggling yourself. And I'm not saying that we can't help people when we're going through things, because we all do that, right? Like, you can still teach and help while you're going through something. But if you are in lack and struggle, is keeping us all down in the pit together. We are not moving forward as a collective consciousness. Like, if I, have millions of dollars in the bank, I love, even right now, helping people thrive in prosperity and abundance. Like, even just with natural conversations, I'm like, well, how you speak to yourself really dictates your reality, and this is how you manifest, and just all these things. That would just free up me to have more time and energy and build more courses and do more workshops and lives so more people could shift. But I have to make this internal shift and be prosperous and abundant to help said people. Like, there got to be leaders. There have got to be people that have made it out on the other side. There have to be people that have proven that they grew up from nothing, and now they have all of this prosperity abundance, and you did it through mindset shifts, you did it through energy healing, through trauma healing, through healing your central nervous system. Like, people need to see the journey, right? Because there are a lot of people that were just like born with abundance and prosperity like that. That's not helping the people that are way down in the pit. They need people who have gone from 0 to 100, and so you can be the leader to teach them how to do it, or the example. Even if you don't want to do workshops and lives, like, you just being prosperous and abundant and coming from the pit is is going to show them like, oh, I can do this too. It doesn't matter what my circumstances are, because all of us have had very different experiences and grown up with different privileges and just all these different things. So the more of us that get to that status, it proves to the people in the pit like, oh, this person did it, I can do it too. Like, there have been so many people that when I was in the pit were up here in prosperity and abundance, and they kept me going. They helped me get out of the pit because I saw that they came from nothing too. It would have not helped me for them to be in lack and then talking to me about being prosperous and abundant. I'm like, well, who are they to talk about that? Okay, so I needed examples of people like that. So you need to be that person too. Don't keep yourself in the pit. It is, and I would say that you are doing the work. Not everybody wants to do the work, and not everybody's going to do the work, and not everybody has the opportunity right now to do the work. Like, some people are still living in like very heavily in the 3D paradigm. Y'all, or whoever's watching this in the future on YouTube, you are doing the work. If you're listening to this chat right now, you are doing the trauma healing. You are doing the subconscious mindset reprogramming. You are healing your inner children and healing your past versions. Like, of course you deserve to be prosperous and abundant. And there's no deserve. Like, everybody comes out the gate prosperous and abundant, but the things that happen to us in life create these filter lenses, and then it stifles our ability to bring it in, and then we get these small containers around us. But you are actively out here, right? Don't ever think like, oh, I need to, like, you are doing it. Okay? The light workers need to have the majority of the money. Like, how different of a collective experience would we have if all of us listening to this right now, and the beautiful being of lights that you know, what if they had billions of dollars in the bank? Think of all the progression that we would make. How much we would be helping the community, helping each other, helping the people that are deep down into the pit. We would just completely change the paradigm altogether. So when you think like, oh, I don't deserve that, yes, you do. You absolutely a million times over deserve that, because you are a beautiful being of light who will change the entire world. And sometimes we don't see how much effect we have on the collective because we're like, oh, it's just me. How many people do you come in contact with on the daily? Times 80 years. You have a huge impact, because now those people go out, and those people go out, those people go out. It has radically shifted people in my own personal life for me to be prosperous and abundant. Because now I talk from a place of, do not speak those words over yourself. This is how you change your mindset. This is how you get to where I'm at. I have people in my life that come to me for advice a lot. And because I have done the work to get myself out of that pit, it's not going to serve them for me to be in lack and talking about, oh, I don't have money and I'm broke. Now we just broken together. Okay? So you being that person in your family life, like, maybe you are the most prosperous and abundant person, great. Now you can lift everybody else up. Not just monetarily, but like your mindset is completely different, right? We are growing and evolving together. Okay. So we're going to take a 1-minute pause so I can run to the restroom, and then we are going to get into healing your central nervous system and healing your subconscious mind to shift into the millionaire mindset. Okay, so everybody, I'll be back in 1 minute. I'm going to pause the live. BRB. Okay, thank y'all for pausing. I had to get up and move some energy around because we're about to shift frequencies here. Okay. So, let's talk about wealth consciousness and the shift that we're about to make, okay? So this is something that I've been feeling coming down in the paradigm for like a hot minute now. The way that we were doing things before was very masculine, like capitalism, right? Inspired action, like hustle grind. The paradigm that we're about to shift into, especially because there was like a ton of people that just woke up on their spiritual awakening journey, and so that's launching a lot of us energy healers and coaches like way further in our consciousness expansion, in our abilities, in our container spaces, is that we're about to flip into wealth consciousness. So that means the more work that you're doing and the more self-aware that you are and the more consciousness that you expand, the more prosperous and abundant you're going to be. We are going to have the majority of the quote-unquote money in the world. But that first starts with us implementing these things and not feeling shameful and guilty over having big containers. Does that make sense? Like, we still have to actively do this work in order to open up and expand our abundance templates in order to flip the paradigm. Because there's so many energy healers and coaches that I work with that are feeling guilty over money or still pushing it out of their energy fields because of the evil things that have been done with it. Okay, well, what if that wasn't the paradigm? What if all of us have the majority of the money and then we're just like soaring as a collective and like toppling down all these things? Like, money is whatever you want to make it, right? On your individual and collective scale. So we need to have a more prosperous and abundant relationship with our bestie money. Okay, because that's what we all collectively decided on. If it's not money, it's going to be something else. Seashells, toilet paper, or whatever. It's going to be something. Okay, because we are all living this human experience, and we're not just free-form energy forms right now, like light beings. Like, there's got to be some type of like currency energy exchange because of the lives that we're living, if you will. So like we can't just run off vibes right now. Like, maybe one day we will get to that. And even money is a vibe, right? But hopefully y'all understand what I'm saying. And yes, this will be on my YouTube channel because it's gonna be a long workshop. Okay, but money is a vibe. Okay, can y'all see me? Somebody said they lost connection. Let me know if y'all can hear and see me. Okay, all good. Okay. Okay, so we need to realize money is love. You can think of money like love tokens. Okay, I had that realization the other day and I just started calling it love tokens that I was receiving, because money has such like an icky stipulation, and if you have like a lot of money wounds, hearing the word money can sometimes like bring that up within self, which that's something you need to work on. But love tokens maybe is a little more easy to ingest. Okay, so how open are you to receiving love? In the past, when people would pay me compliments or give me gifts or try and offer me any type of support, my answer would be no. Or like, no, you don't have to do that. It's not a big deal. You know, I was closing my container to receive. Oh, I'm sorry, Shelly, you can't hear. I was closing my container to receive. Because money is love, and love comes in all different forms, and it's all abundance. Peace, joy, happiness, love, magic, whimsy, money, all forms of love, if you look at money through that lens. So if you're not taking compliments from people, your receiving container is closed, which also is for money. If you do not let somebody support you, your receiving container is closed. Now, maybe you have, oh, thank you for the, for the gifts, everybody. If you have had trauma in your life around people that have done negative things to you and cultivated those wounds, okay, I get it, because I have too. But there are all these wonderful people that have your best interest at heart and really want to help you. Like, I have all these people that are constantly giving me compliments and are hyping me up and encouraging me, and just like, I love them deep down in my core, even though I have had people that have done horrible things to me in the past. Not everyone is like that. Money is not like that. Just because you had negative experiences in the past with people and money, or the programming you received, doesn't mean money is like that as a whole. It's not trying to abandon you. It's not trying to hurt you. That's just the frame of reference that you're looking through. So when I started opening my container, I was like, please let me receive those compliments. Please, I would love that support. It completely launched me into a whole new life. Like, completely. Because you have to be in receiving mode to receive money. Okay? To receive love. Love from the universe. Love from the universe, yourself. Because I want to give you a perspective shift that really like rocked me when I had it, was us all here and the people watching this later. Thank y'all for the follows. We all know that we're from one source point. Okay? We are the universe experiencing ourselves in different perspectives form, if you will. So you are me and I am you. Okay? So let's say Lucy here in the comments, Lucy is trying to support me in some way, whether it's through a compliment or money, whatever. Okay? If I say no to Lucy, I'm saying no to myself. I am not allowing myself to love myself. I'm also denying Lucy her abundance and prosperity of doing that for me. So I am blocking her blessings and I'm blocking my blessings. And I'm not saying that we should accept help from everybody, okay? Because some people do not have your best interest at heart. Because they need to do their own healing journey over here, okay? But if somebody really loves you through and through, and you say no to them, you're blocking both of you. And that is a hard lesson that I had to learn. It took me a long time to figure out. And once I did, it completely shifted my prosperity and abundance. Because now I'm an open container. Because money is one form of abundance. But there's also like having really amazing friends, or having like an amazing cup of coffee in the morning, or having a bed to lay in that's really comfy, or having heating or air conditioning. Like anything that is bringing you good feelings is abundance. And when you start looking at money through that lens of like, oh, it's a form of abundance, it's a wave of abundance. You got to be open to abundance in all areas of life. And you have to be grateful for the things that you already have. Because if you're being ungrateful for the abundance that you have already, it's blocking you from receiving more. That's why all these like teachers, spiritual teachers are like, gratefulness, gratitude, gratefulness, gratitude. Because if you're being thankful for all of these good feelings and focusing on that instead of focusing on lack, it's opening up your container more and more and more and more. Because you're telling the universe, I love feeling good. Look at all these things that are bringing me these good feelings right now. I want more of this. But there's a lot of people that only focus on the not in life. I don't have this. I don't have that. I'll be happy when. That's not how it works. Like, you got to feel abundant to bring more abundance in. Because otherwise, you're manifesting from lack. And you're manifesting more negative experiences in your reality. It's all about the lenses that you're looking through. So, like, I would suggest, and we're going to get into an exercise that helps with this, but, like, what is bringing you abundance right now? And then tell the universe, this is what I want money to feel like. But we're going to get into that. So, reprogramming your central nervous system. So right now, a lot of people, when they hear money, triggered. Okay, fight or flight, stress, anxiety, I gotta pay my bills, unworthiness, shame, guilt, all this stuff that comes on. Okay, so when you hear the word money or think about money, your body has a negative reaction, and then you're reiterating in your paradigm like, money is not safe. I don't want that, is what your subconscious is saying. Okay, so we need to reprogram our central nervous system to feel safe with money, because right now you don't feel safe with money. So how do we do this? We're going to call what I call it is pockets of emotions. You need to feel good when you think about money to bring it in. It's hard to do that though when you have money wounds, right? Or you don't have money. And I've been there too, so I get it. Okay? But I want everybody right now to think about an emotion that you want money to feel like. Put it in the comments. How do you want your money to feel? Pick any emotion that you want. Happy, peace, joy, fun, magic, whimsy. What is that for you? Happy, great. Gratitude, great. I love that. Whimsical, excited, freedom, great. Joy, fun, freedom, love. Okay. I want you to take that emotion and I want you to ask yourself, what is bringing you that right now? Share it in the comments. Maybe it's you playing with your kids. It's you going on like a nice sunny walk. It's you watching some ducks at the pond. It's you watching your favorite television show. You spending time with your partner. What in your life is already bringing you that? Or maybe it's a memory. Maybe it's you being on a girls' trip like 10 years ago, or you going to a music festival, or the birth of your child, or you graduating from school. Like, it can be a memory or something that you're currently experiencing. Okay, my fur babies being outside. Great, okay. So what we're doing is we're bypassing the stress and anxiety, and you are raising your frequency, because now we're thinking about the thing that brings us that emotion and we're sitting within it. And now you tell the universe, this is what I want my money to feel like. I want it to feel like hiking in the woods. I want it to feel like playing with my fur babies. I want it to feel like watching my family play outside the house. That is a way to shortcut around the stress and anxiety about money and rewire your central nervous system. And every single time you do this, it strengthens your central nervous system and releases those self-limiting beliefs and money wounds, because you're rewiring your neural networking, that you're thinking happy thoughts when you think about money, and you are helping your body feel safe. And I'm going to give you an example of how I did this, okay? So you have like a tangible example. So I was going to take a bunch of inspired action steps in my business, and I was on burnout mode, like done for the day. Okay. But my masculine side was like, no, we need to do this. We need to do this so we can make more money, get more clients, blah, 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 blah. Right. And my higher self was like, don't do that. We need to go to the park and chill out. There was some resistance there because I've been actively working through being more in receiving feminine mode instead of doing masculine inspired action over here. Still need to do those things, but when you're doing too much of it, you're blocking yourself, okay? So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to the park. So I go on a walk, and I'm just really in the experience, like totally present. I said, I don't have a son, I don't have dogs, I don't have an apartment, I don't have bills to take care of. I'm just literally like a soul out here experiencing this 30-minute walk. I was paying attention to the bugs and the sun on my face and the wind in my hair and just like really being present for 30 minutes, okay? I get back home and I'm like, you know what? I want to manifest some extra money for something that's coming up for me, okay? Excuse me. So I lay on my bed and I go in internally and I say, okay, what emotion do I want money to bring to me? Because earlier that day it was stressing me out. I said, what do I want emotion to bring? I said, I want to feel peace. Peace is my emotion. And I said, what in my life is currently bringing me peace? And I said, that walk I went on earlier. I said, I was at complete peace on that walk. And so I set my timer for 10 minutes and I said, I'm going to get myself back in that frequency state of peace. So I'm envisioning being on the walk, how I felt, how free and at peace. And then, sorry, my thing froze. And then when I felt that frequency shift, I got up and somebody booked a session with me. immediately afterwards and tip me $40 on top of it. It can be that quick. You have to find the frequency shift within in order to manifest those things or outside of yourself, not without, but outside of yourself. If you can shift you not being in panic and fear and anxiety mode with money and make your body feel good with it, it comes in super easily. And my main funnel of my income comes from like my business, but there's a million different ways that money can come to you. Like rebates in the mail, you can win a scratch off, somebody decides to invest with you, or somebody gives you an inheritance. Like there's a million different ways that money can come to you, but if your channels are closed because your body feels unsafe and you've wired negative emotions with receiving, it's not going to come in. So you have to find a frequency shift within with your emotional state to open your container. So next time you feel stressed and anxious about money, I want you to take a pause and I want you to say, what emotion do I want to feel? What is the experience that I want to have? Pick the emotion and then think, where am I experiencing that in my life right now? What have I experienced in my past that has brought me that emotion? Just sit with it for a second until you feel the frequency shift. And when you feel that, tell the universe, this is what I want my money to feel like. Or this is what money feels like to me. Because now you're creating safety in your body. Because your body is not in fight or flight. Now it's in the emotion. And it's like, oh, this actually feels really good. This feels very nice. I want more of this. This feels great. And if money brings me that, great. Now it's not scary. Okay? And it's not bringing us anxiety. It's just a very good feeling. The more you do that, the more it encodes into your central nervous system, and it actually heals you on a cellular DNA level. It heals your subconscious mind, because now your subconscious is like, oh, money equals really good feelings. Money is safe. Money is fun. Money is exciting. It brings us peace and whimsy and joy, right? So this is a shortcut to help you rewire all of those things within self. And the more you place energy and intention into something, the more you get it, or the more you get of it, because the universe works like an algorithm. What you put out is what you get in. So if you're more focused on abundance and prosperity and good feelings rather than being in lack, the universe is going to bring you more of that, not just with money. Oh, thank you for the gift there, Carrie. It's going to bring you prosperity and abundance in all areas of your life, relationships, your career, your hobbies, with your kids, with your partner, with your finances. It heals the whole. So I don't want you to think this is just representative of your relationship with money. It's everything. If you can learn to reprogram your subconscious and heal your central nervous system, it will shift you into a whole new life. Like, I am a living, breathing testament to that. It took me quite a while to figure those things out and do it. And that's why I teach these things now, so you don't have to figure those things out on your own. Okay? Because it took a lot of time and energy for me to do that. So that's how I give back and saying, like, hey, here are all the tools. Here is a roadmap. Is the exact guide to launch yourself into a new state of being. Okay, so we're going to talk about rituals, okay, like wealth, money rituals. I'm going to pause the live for just a second because I need to get my charger for my tablet here. So if everybody just hold on one moment, I'll be right back. tablet did not charge all the way last night, but it's okay. Okay, so rituals. So we hear that a lot in like spirituality and like money, wealth mindset of you got to have some ritual that you're doing consistently in order to, you know, heal these things within self, like the money wounds and what have you. Okay, so for my neurospicy friends, neurodivergent friends, rituals do not work for us most of the time. We get very bored with things very easily because we stop getting dopamine from them. We like newness, we like freshness, and so if you're trying to do like a 30-day challenge, 60, 90-day challenge, sometimes you get a weekend and you're like, okay, well, I'm done with that. And then you don't pick up something else in its place, and then your manifestations stop coming in, and now we're feeling shameful and guilty, and we're thinking we're unworthy, and we're like, what the heck? So something that I wish that I have learned earlier, it doesn't matter what ritual you're doing. It doesn't matter if you do a different ritual every single day, because that's still an overarching ritual of doing a different one every single day. Because when I made that shift and I was like, oh, I can just pick something and just keep prosperity and abundance at the forefront of my mind, doesn't matter. Because I get bored. Okay, I cannot continue to do something for a week. I can do the same thing for like 3 days, and that's as far as I can get with it. So if you need that permission slip of, doesn't matter, just pick something every day, and that works for you, great. I don't know how many clients that I have worked with before that I've said that to, and they're like, and I'm like, yeah, you got to work with your neurodiversity, not against it. What works for a neurotypical person may not work for you, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just how your brain functions. You got dopamine deficiencies? We'll do something to give you dopamine. Okay? You don't have to do something just because somebody is telling you to do it, and that's the way it works. Find your truth. Find what works for you. Do what is bringing you results. Okay? So, oh, you're welcome. There's a lot of people that need to hear that, okay? I do say you need to do something every single day. If you have deep core money wounds, you need to stay on top of it, because it affects everything in your life, especially if you have abandonment and trust wounds and just like deep programming. Pick something every day, even if it's 5 or 10 minutes, and I'm going to give you some tools to do, like if you want to, but just pick one thing every single day. Because I have found a direct correlation that if I am not doing something every day, I make less money. Like, because prosperity abundance not on the forefront. Like, there have been so many times where I'm like, oh, I don't need to do those things anymore. I'm healed. It's not about being healed or not being healed. It's about you doing something to get you into the abundance frequency. What happens if you're in abundance frequency? You get more abundance. Okay? And then if you're not doing those things, it's very easy to attach to self-limiting beliefs and catastrophizing and stress and anxiety. Well, if you do something every single day, especially like right when you get your day started, you're naturally in the abundance flow and you're not attaching to those things. But you got to do something every single day to keep you in that frequency. Even me, who has healed a ton of these things, I have to keep abundance and prosperity in the forefront of my mind. Otherwise, my self-limiting beliefs come up, stress and anxiety, fear, the what ifs, and then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So just make a commitment to do something every single day. Okay. Here we go. So these are a couple. Now these are just a couple. Okay, these are some of my favorite, but there's a gajillion, billion things that you can do. So first, we have EFT tapping. So I don't know if anybody's ever seen where, excuse me, energy healers or coaches are like tapping on different points on their body. What that's doing is it's releasing trauma energy and blocked up energy from your meridian lines. So this is a frequency healing. It's also reprogramming your subconscious mindset if you're talking to yourself while you're doing the EFT tapping and saying like, I am opening up my abundance container. I am releasing energy that's no longer serving me. Frequency healing. There's many different types of healing. There's frequency healing, subconscious mindset reprogramming, physical healing, right? Spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical, spiritual, mental, and emotional healing. Okay, so we need to kind of rotate between those to heal as a whole. So frequency healing, subconscious mindset. You can find EFT tapping videos on YouTube or even on TikTok. I see them a lot there, right? But that's not everybody's jam. Not like some of these don't resonate with everyone, and that's fine. If you don't like EFT tapping, don't do that, okay? Doing the pockets of emotion activity that we talked about. Instantly shifting your frequency by thinking about something that you're grateful for or is already bringing you the emotion you want money to. Okay, pockets of emotions, that's what I call it. Thank y'all for the follow, I appreciate that. Planning for the future. There's a lot of people that I talk to that want to go on like trips, like Hawaii, Japan, wherever you want to go. And you're like, okay, well, I'll plan for it once I have the money. Why? Why are you waiting? Plan for it now. Pick your hotel. Pick the excursions that you're going to go on. Like, get out a Google sheet, like a Google document or a piece of paper, and write out exactly what you're going to do and where you're going to go and what you're going to visit and what kind of food you're going to eat. Because you're telling the universe, I'm ready. I am ready to go. I am not doubting that this is my experience. Like, this is going to happen, and I'm so ready for it to happen that I already got it planned out. Like, I want to go on a trip to Mall of America to get myself like a whole new wardrobe. Planning for it right now. I'm ready. Let's go. Okay, because you're telling the universe you're already there. You are already in that frequency. We are not coming from lack, trying to manifest those things. You're like, it's coming. Okay, you are launching yourself into your more preferable reality by doing those things. Don't wait to have the money. The money will come if you shift your frequency into, I am ready to go. Right? Okay. Journaling. Finding some like money or wealth journaling prompts, journaling them out is a great way to reprogram your subconscious, because you're taking the energy that's inside of you, like the panicky stress, anxiety, and you're pulling it out and putting it in front of you to look at objectively, and then it's going back in your subconscious deeper, because now you are detaching from it emotionally. You're looking at it from a higher perspective lens. When I was really dealing with anxiety and depression, y'all probably felt this before, where like you wake up and you're panicky and you're like catastrophizing right when you get up for the day. Like, that's when your central nervous system is the most activated, right when you wake up. And so I would get out a sheet of paper and I would write every single thought I was having. Like, just every single thing. Not even, they weren't even like coherent sentences, just like words. Okay, and what that's doing is it's pulling that energy out of your body. It's clearing your mind of all the tabs that are open. Now I'm reading it back and saying, oh, maybe I'm being doing a little too much right now. Like, maybe this isn't as intense as I'm actually feeling. It's just my thoughts are getting the best of me, and I'm going down negative rabbit holes that I don't need to go down. It's literally pulling it up out of your body. So do that with like journal prompts for money. It's very beneficial. Very, very beneficial. You can even write the journal prompts as your higher self to your inner children, the one that hold the money wounds, the ones that got the programming. Like, write it to them. That's even going to go even deeper in your Akashic. Okay. There are a lot of Reiki practitioners on YouTube that specialize in abundance and prosperity and healing money wounds. Reiki is really great because it calms down your central nervous system to allow your subconscious to receive that information and go further back in. It's also frequency healing. So they will speak affirmations over you while you're in a calm theta state and then your subconscious is just soaking it up. Okay, and you feel more calm and relaxed, and they're talking about money, which is making you feel good. Like, I love listening to Reiki practitioners talk about prosperity and abundance. Like, highly recommend. Okay. Meditations are great, like guided meditations to help you feel prosperous and abundant, because it's getting you in theta state where your subconscious is the most open and your central nervous system is relaxed. So we're teaching our body money is safe, right? Affirmations are most beneficial right before you go to sleep and right before you wake, or right when you wake up. You are like in this like not quite conscious yet state. And so if this is something that you really want to double down on and heal, listen to abundance and prosperity affirmations every single night. Every single night. I cannot tell you how many shifts I have made in my life by either doing like confidence affirmations before bed, boss babe affirmations before bed, money affirmations before bed, because that stuff is so far deep in your subconscious. You have to heal it on a subconscious level. Like, you can heal your physical body and your emotional state, but you also got to heal the stuff that's been in there since childhood in order to clear these things out at a root level. Okay, so that's why I'm like, we got to heal emotions, physical body, and subconscious all together to clear the money wounds out. Okay. We need to take spending out of our vocabulary altogether. I do not want you to say spend ever again, because spend equates it's not coming back. Everything is an investment. You buy groceries, it's an investment in your health. You buy a cup of coffee, it's an investment in your joy. You pay money for your rent, it's an investment in having a comfortable place to live. You pay your water bill, it's an investment in you taking hot showers. Investment in your car insurance so you and other people can be safe and you not take a big financial hit. Everything is an investment. We don't say I can't afford. We say that's not a financial priority for me right now. That's called neuro-linguistic programming, and the words you speak over yourself create your reality. If you say I'm broke, you will be broke. If you say I am making an investment in myself, you're telling the universe how much you love yourself and that it's coming back to you tenfold in some form or fashion. Everything is an investment. Okay? Okay, good. I'm glad it's resonating. I'm going to give an example of how that shifted for me, okay? So normally when I receive bills in the mail, I'll just throw them away because I do all of my stuff online, okay? And one day I went to my mailbox and I saw, this is like, it might be a year ago now. Anyway, I went to my mailbox and there was my internet bill in there. And my initial reaction was, ew. Like, I don't want to have to pay that, okay? Like, especially, oh, we don't have to go back to that because I'm trying not to talk about those things. But about what happened in my childhood, we're not talking about it anymore, okay? If y'all saw the first part of the chat. But I was like, I don't want to pay that, okay? It was like bringing up these like negative feelings. And I said, you know what? We're not going to do that today. I said, I'm going to take a higher perspective on this, and we are going to feel joy about this internet bill. I was like, what does internet bring us? It helps me connect with people through my spiritual business. It helps me talk to my friends. I get to scroll on TikTok. I get to look at cute things on Pinterest. Like, how is internet making me thrive in life? And I said, we're going to open that bill and we're going to be so incredibly grateful and thankful that we are able to invest in the internet. Okay, because it's giving us so much back in return. I open the bill that I normally would have just thrown in the trash and felt icky and yucky about, and there was a $250 rebate for my internet company in there. It wasn't a bill. And if I had not shifted my frequency and looked from a higher perspective and saw it as an investment, I would have never opened that and it would have been in the trash. That has been an anchor point in my consciousness ever since, because it's a memory that I can always go back to when I'm feeling any type of lack or self-limiting beliefs come up. I'm like, nah, like all we need to do is shift our frequency, and the universe is trying to bring us blessings in all different types of ways. But what perspective are we looking through? Yeah, I've had tons of things like that happen because I have taken a second to regulate my central nervous system, because that's what I did. I said, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to feel fearful around bills. And we are going to see it as an investment, right? We miss so many opportunities that the universe is trying to give us because we're living in this lack cloud. Like, there might be money on the ground that you wouldn't even see because you up here in stress and anxiety. Or somebody wants to gift you money, right? If you're in the right frequency, that person will get a ping from your higher self, and then they'll send you money. But they won't get the ping if you are in lack mentality. Like, that's how quantum manifesting works. You have to align with your more preferable reality for those things to happen. Yeah, I'm listening. Okay. Okay, so we've got a couple more things here and then we'll finish up, okay? So this is an activity that really helped me shift in my life, and it's opening up and expanding your wealth container. So a couple years ago, single mom, working 3 12-hour shifts, okay, a week, and working in my business part-time, okay? I was barely making by. Like, I was making like $2,000 a month. And I know that could be a lot for people or not a lot for people. Everybody's wealth container is different and what your bills are that you invest in, okay? But for me and my son, bare minimum living, okay? Very thankful and grateful for what I had at that time, though, okay? And I was out here trying my best, but it was not working. And I watched this video where Reagan Hiller, you can find her on YouTube. She talks about expanding your wealth container. I highly recommend watching that video. Like, watch it, okay? Because she explains in depth more so than I'm doing right now. But she said, if you live under the assumption that you are making the same amount every single month and you never push yourself out of that container, that will be your forever reality. Like, if I was to assume I can only make $2,000 a month because that's what I'm making right now, then that will be my self-fulfilling prophecy and what will happen next month. And that was the cycle that I was caught in, right? Her name is Reagan Hiller. It's REGANHILLYER. I think that's how you spell it. But you can just type in YouTube, like, wealth container, and her video will pop up. Reagan Hiller. She got long brown hair. Okay. So I said, you know what? I'm going to open up and expand my wealth container. And she says you need to pick an amount that is enough to make you uncomfortable, but enough that your subconscious will believe. If you are making $2,000 a month right now and you say, I'm going to manifest $1 million next month, probably not going to happen. Because your subconscious is going to be like, no. Like, there ain't no way. Okay. You got to incrementally open your container up. Okay. So when I say this amount to everybody, I want you to understand everybody's container and amount looks different. Somebody's container that they push might be $10,000 and somebody might be $500. That's totally fine. The amount does not matter. It's what steps outside of your comfort zone enough to push you, but not overwhelm you. Okay, so that's why I want to say that before I say my number. Let me check my percentage on my tablet real quick, so it may like pause. That was enough to where it was like really pushing my subconscious, because I'm like, well, I don't know how that's gonna happen, but I believe I could do it, right? And I said, I'm gonna make $5,000. And so I doubled down on my money mindset. All those things that I was talking about, all those rituals, I was doing those like so consistently, and with the belief, or like not the belief, the knowing that that $5,000 was gonna find its way to me. And I didn't need to worry about how. I just knew it was going to happen. That next month, I made $4,000. Did I make $5,000? No, but who cares? Because I like doubled my income. But that's because I was keeping prosperity and abundant at the forefront of my mind and looking into like perceiving what was possible for me and latching on to that reality and shifting my way there. But I wouldn't have done that if I didn't push myself. And then the next month I made $6,000. And then the next month I made $8,000. And initially, when I didn't hit that $5,000 mark, when I was manifesting that, I was like, oh, well, I didn't manifest the 5, I only manifested 4. I was like, oh, we're not doing that. I was like, forward movement is forward movement, and we doubled our income. Like, good for us. And because I did that, I manifested $6,000 the next month. It is possible for you. It happened for me. It happened for other people that I know too that have done this. We're actually doing that in Boss Babes Inspire right now as an activity with all of my group coaching people. We did that exercise together. So I'm super excited to see what the results are. But if you want to make an extra $500, like if that's pushing your container, great. Start there. Years ago, 10, 15 years ago, $500 extra would have been like wild for me. Okay, so start where you're at, but you got to pick a number that's a little outside your comfort zone, but not overwhelming, okay? And also what I did was that $5,000, I wrote down everywhere I was going to invest it to the penny. To the penny. I said, this is everywhere that I'm going to utilize this. And so what I was telling the universe is I'm ready. I have a plan for this. It's not just a what if. It's not just up here in my imagination. This is what's going to happen, and this is what I'm going to do with it. So I quantum jumped into a reality where I had that in my experience. And then I invested it everywhere that I said I was going to. And then I did the same thing for the 6,000 and the same thing for the 8,000. You can shock yourself. And that amount, I was like, I can do that forever and for always. Once I reach $6,000, once I reach $8,000, that's where my container is now. Because I proved to myself that I could do it, right? So I take that exercise and try that. Do not put a how on it. Do not put a when on it, because that is controlling behavior and it will close your container. We are leaving up, we're taking inspired action steps because you need to do that, but we're also leaving up to the universe to help us align that for us. Okay, the last things we have here, something you need to take with you is, of course, the universe wants me to be abundant. Of course it does. Of course everything works out for you. You're the creator of your reality. You are the universe. Why would you want you to be broke and in lack and suffering? Of course you wouldn't. Sometimes we think that the universe is like something outside of us. It's a different perspective. All your higher selves, everybody in the world, all the inner children, like everything is a different perspective lens. Why would the universe punish you? Why would you punish you? Right? Like, of course the universe loves you because you love you. Now that sometimes is some self-worth stuff that we got to work on individually, right? And opening up your container to receive love from other people and self. But of course, the world, reality, the universe wants you to thrive and be abundant and prosperous and happy and magical and whimsical and just have the best life experience you could possibly have. Okay? And sometimes when I'm talking to people, they're like, well, I don't deserve that. Especially like light workers. They're like, well, I haven't helped enough people, or I haven't done enough for the collective consciousness. You don't need to do anything to be abundant and prosperous. That is your natural homeostasis point. You don't need to do anything. That's just you as a soul. All of the trauma and the self-limiting beliefs and the guilt and the shame and the weaponizing are filter lenses that have been placed over you. That has nothing to do with you being a prosperous and abundant being. That is all filter lenses. You at your like, what if everybody was abundant and prosperous and just thriving and happy in unity consciousness? Like, how much better of an experience would we all have together? Let all that other stuff go. It has nothing to do with whether you deserve to be prosperous. You don't need to do anything. What you choose to do is you're experiencing reality and whatever you want to do. But you don't have to do anything to be that way. Okay? Even people that do evil things with money, those are all filter lenses that have been placed on them from generational trauma, or, you know, parents that were really awful to them, or they went down a bad path in life. But their natural homeostasis point is love behind all of those things. Now, can they make a choice not to heal those things? Sure. Absolutely. That's their soul contract. That's their life experience. But behind all those things is source. Source is in a prosperous and abundant energy form. That's how we have all of us in creation, right? So just remember, all those things are just filter lenses, and you are prosperous and abundant for being you, because you are source. Okay? So hopefully this helps everybody have a shift in your abundance template and helps you feel a little more safe and secure within self, and helps you with your relationship with wealth consciousness. Some tools that we have here to get started: working on your central nervous system, healing it and helping it feel safe, and also healing your subconscious mindset, okay, in your emotional state that we feel with wealth and money coming into your life, and opening up and expanding our wealth container. So as we finish up here, these are the things that we're going to be talking about in Boss Babes Inspire. This is my group coaching program. It's a group mastermind for spiritual entrepreneurs. So if you're an energy healer or a coach and you want to be a forefront leader in consciousness expansion, and you're ready to create your legacy, like you're a multidimensional being that knows that you came here for a very specific reason, and you want to be a part of the paradigm shift, we help you make the intrinsic shifts to get to that space, to open up your life container, not just your wealth container, your reality container. Okay? When I first started my spiritual business, it was very overwhelming. There was a million steps that I had to take to get to where I'm at right now, and I didn't have anybody to ask. Like I had to hustle and grind and figure all these things out, and spend thousands of hours of researching coaching information, like how to build programs, marketing, all that's extrinsic stuff. The intrinsic stuff is even more important, because you are your business. Like the confidence that you exude, how self-assured you are in selling your programs and what you have to offer, finding balance in your life, opening up your wealth container so you don't feel shameful and guilty for like asking people to invest in you. Like there's so many different facets that coincide with one another. And being around other high achievers is so beneficial, because there's a lot of energy healers and coaches that are very isolated, like myself. Like there was nobody in my life that was doing what I was doing. Like they're all doing their own thing. Who do I have to support me? Right? I feel very alone is what I felt. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to start a group where we can all come together and help support one another. Because just being around other high achievers is very beneficial. And you also see that you're not the only one going through these things. That there's other people that are experiencing challenges in their business, if you will, and then having other people to ask. And so if this is something that you feel like you want to be a part of, it's for female identifying and non-binary spiritual entrepreneurs, mainly energy healers and coaches, because that's the lens that I teach from and that I can help people with. And so if you want to be a part of it, we're starting in June. The application is down here in the description box for my YouTube people, and then it's up in my profile if you want to click there. I'm taking 15 Boss Babes. Ooh, 11. Thank you, Shelly, for that reminder. I'm taking 15 Boss Babes into the group, and we have 13 spaces available left. I just launched it 2 days ago, so they're going to go very quickly. Okay? I would love to have you in the group if this is you, if it really resonated in your soul, and you're ready to like kick it in gear and be around some other awesome people. I really appreciate you so much for this live. Oh, good. I'm glad that it resonated with you and you got a lot out of it. Good. If you are not a spiritual like entrepreneur, energy healer, coach, but you need some more healing with these things that I was talking about, whether it's with your Akashic records, energy healing, trauma healing, opening up and expanding your wealth container, upgrading your spiritual gifts, figuring out what your spiritual gifts are. I offer a bunch of different energy healing sessions and coaching sessions that aren't mentorship programs, that are individual, if you will. And so if you want to take a look at those, that link is also down here, and then there's a description in my bio link as well. Okay, does anybody have any questions as I finish up here before my tablet dies? Also remember to like and subscribe on YouTube, or give a follow here if you want to see more workshops and lives like this. Okay, thank you. This has been amazing. Yay! I'm so glad to hear that. I really wanted people to feel like empowered with their relationship with wealth, because that's a lot of people are working on that right now, because we're switching into wealth consciousness. So it's bringing up a lot for people, a lot of healing stuff for people because of that shift we're going to make as a collective, and like clearing out like old stuff. Okay. Yes, what did you say about energy healers? I missed it. Oh, thank you, Anna, for the garland. I know y'all can't see it on YouTube, but people send me gifts that pop up on the screen here. I'm launching my second Boss Babes Inspire program, and it's a mastermind for spiritual entrepreneurs, like energy healers and coaches. So we're going to be doing meetings every single week to talk about different topics within your spiritual business and your life. And then I'm going to be doing hot seat coaching. And so I pick somebody every week as a group, and we're going to help them make forward movement in their business. And we're doing a whole bunch of other things too. And there's more information in my bio on that. And we're starting in June. All right. Okay, everybody. I hope everybody has a very magical day. I'm glad this was beneficial. If you want to watch it in its entirety, it'll be up on my YouTube channel, Soul Harmony Magic. So that should be up tomorrow. Okay. All right, everybody. I will see you next time, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.